Well, hello, LinkedIn and now YouTube. We're live streaming on both platforms. Yay, right, Mike? Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Yay. I mean, I think it's unclear to me if we're streaming on YouTube or if it's just making a copy to play later.
Well, I'm going to find out. I think we are. But I do want everybody to know that that Mike had asked me a question, and I said no. Mike asked if he could drop an F-bomb. Actually, he didn't really ask. He just told me he was going to. And I said, not so much with dropping the F-bomb on these things.
Because
so
you
Mike,
don't want to get marked as an adult channel.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get marked as an adult channel. That's
There's
just
nothing
not who you want
adult
to be.
about my derision and rage. That's not what that is.
And that's how the bots at YouTube and LinkedIn see that.
Okay. All right. Fine. All right. So I'll dial it down. All right.
All right. We I didn't ask you to dial it down. I just said no dropping F-bombs. I guess we're going to find out at the end of this whether F-bomb is something that gets us in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Hey, but we actually have some really serious things going on here today. Some heightened anxiety, sweat on people's foreheads. You know, hospitals, the health sector are under attack. What's going on, Mike?
You know, I got to tell you, Jake, all I want to do is play drums, and I keep getting embroiled in these events. And I think heightened anxiety is the right way to say it. Hospitals, the health sector, seem to be under active attack. And so here's the collection of things we know. So I found out yesterday about Sky Lakes Medical, which is in Oregon, and because we are especially tuned to what happens in our neighborhood, right? And I knew about the 3 hospitals in a single county in New York because I had put those in the news blast, right? And then there was a call yesterday with the FBI and CISA, right, which is the Infrastructure and Cyber Agency of DHS, and they described a credible threat against the health sector. So I was on that call, and as an aside, let me just say, I appreciate the urgency and the breadth of the announcement, but without specificity, let me say that it's pretty clear that the FBI and DHS, CISA, are just getting to know one another. They honestly didn't say much. Questions weren't really answered. There were technical problems. So let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up. So the TrickBot botnet is being used to launch ransomware attacks against hospitals. Okay, this is not news. The Ryuk ransomware is the type being observed at victim organizations, and this is not news. Actors using TrickBot to deploy Ryuk and extort organizations is not news. In today's world, that makes that a day of the week ending in Y. But Jake, having the FBI and DHS hastily arrange a meeting where they call this threat credible, and maybe this said imminent, but don't quote me, I can't remember. Multiple hospitals hit nearly simultaneously during a time when COVID cases are spiking during the last week of the US election that will absolutely be nuts, as Microsoft and the DoD are doing everything to knock down TrickBot. That combination of events, that's the news.
Well, that's not scary or anything.
Yeah.
So you think those things are all related?
So I've been thinking about this. I talked to my friend Jesse Jones from Cairo TV yesterday, and he asked me a really good question. Is this a head fake? Right? Because, the timing is very suspicious being around the election, right? And I told him at the time, it looked like organized crime, and this is extortion. But I've been thinking about this. Is this organized crime? Would any nation's strategic goals be served by carrying out something like this? Why is this happening now? As COVID cases are spiking and functioning hospitals are really, really important. And during an economic crisis where, quite notably, hospitals are already broke, if this plays out, and they are warning about the potential of hundreds of other hospitals that may be targeted, this could absolutely devastate the health sector and kill a lot of people. Yeah, right. Heightened anxiety is a good way to say. I mean, I'm pretty immune to, the hyperbole and, the holding up events as, oh my God, this is the worst thing in the world. This one's really got my attention, man. I'm pretty worried here. I mean, and could this be a calculated social blow to the U.S. writ large, right? Followed by violence inflamed by disinformation, because all that stuff is happening right now. And the more I think about how this event rolls into a greater context, the worse it smells to me.
Yeah, but
while I'm on a roll here, let me just double down on this, because I still think, and I will be happy to eat these words about November 20th, because that's a Thursday and you and I are going to be right here, that counties in the U.S. are going to have the same fate as these hospitals after November 3rd. A result of the Tyler Technologies breach? Maybe. But if Microsoft is really working hard to knock down TrickBot and they're giving away Defender ATP to counties, and I know this to be true in Washington State, I can't confirm that this is true across the United States, but they're giving away Defender ATP to counties till all the election dust settles. Something is up.
If that's true, why wait till after Election Day if it all has to do with that? I have doubts, but why wait?
Yeah, well, so that's a good question. Two reasons, I think. One, because if they take a scalp now, we'll grab the indicators and we'll root it out everywhere else it is. Okay, so if the idea is to cue multiple organizations to all throw election counts into question, it makes sense to pull the trigger on all of them at once, right? But more importantly, because after Election Day, the in-person tally is complete, and that's all been reported, right? What's left? In-mail vote counting, right? So counting the mail-in ballots, if counties get snarled during that process, the perception created will be that only the mail-in votes can't be trusted. The in-person voting, nothing happened to perturb that. We have the counts, the tally is ready, but all these mail-in votes, we don't know what's happening. We don't think those can be. I mean, that's a potential outcome here.
Well, all right. I don't know if I agree with that.
Of course not.
And but I'm going to talk about that in a second. First, I want to say, welcome to the folks who are watching. And just as a reminder on all of this, one of the things that folks can do right now is have their team go through security awareness training. And we do that every Friday at noon. And I'm going to put a link into the chat here. I think it just goes to LinkedIn chat, but it also might go to YouTube. And then people are more than welcome to join. Also, Mike, to answer the question above, we are actually streaming on YouTube. I use the internet to figure that out. So that's good. Now, that said, I want to go back to this. You're getting very conspiratorial this morning, if that's even a word. You do realize it's too late to take this back since we are live streaming. The internet is forever. You said I hope you eat your words. I hope this isn't true. But now what?
Well, yes. First of all, the internet is forever, and I already have a way worse trail out there than anything I could say here. So DFC, right? One more thing about the health sector. This also smacks of a service provider to the sector having been compromised and used to island hop, which is a real trend right now. And after a bunch of conversations yesterday, I assume my pals in journalism are on top of that and checking it out. Also, just with respect to what is known, we have indicators that were published by independent researchers that suggest this is the UNC 1878 malware gang, which was named by Mandiant, who I would love to thank for not naming it Greedy Bear or something equally ridiculous like we seem to always do. In fact, I think there's a spider wizard or wizard spider or something like that is the other name for this gang, right? But so anyway, folks may want to search for UNC 1878 and grab these indicators. They're on Git. We have them and we will provide them to anyone that asks.
Actually, even better than that, we put them on our website, and I'll put a link to that in the chat. But you can also email us. So what else happened that's worth discussing? How about something that applies to, say, companies that end up might being our customers? Remember, I'm the marketing guy.
Oh yeah, I have to do that, right?
You do, yeah. That's part of what you have to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have tons of health and government customers that I just talked about, but
We love them.
we do. Let me say too that manufacturing is getting whacked more and more. If the true motivation is criminal profit and not just disruption for some nation state strategic goals, which is always a gray zone right now, victims are sought out by actors that are measuring the return versus the effort to compromise a network, right? And computer-assisted manufacturing checks all the boxes for these guys. Because a manufacturing operation can lose millions of dollars a day if it's disrupted. There is this urgency to return to operations as quickly as possible. And paying the extortion demand is the fastest way to get back to work, right? So, I mean, it's the same way that, same reason that hospitals are targeted. They're so critical, they can't survive downtime. They're going to do anything they can to get back, right? So the impact here is not potential loss of life, which will get you to act. It is the loss of millions of dollars, which will get you to act, right? So this business focus is now being manifest in manufacturing operations. Manufacturing accounts for a quarter of the ransomware incidents this year so far. And it's been reported that ransomware gangs even factor in the revenue of their targets to adjust the extortion demand to a level that's appropriate. So, manufacturing, I think your time in the barrel is coming.
Oh, Mike, what a downer of a day.
And it's just getting started, man.
All right.
In fact, I will say too, looping back to the hospital thing, there was another call at 7:00 this morning, and I found out about it late. So I'm hoping that somebody was on that call and can perhaps summarize any new information that came out. I know that the FBI is going to release their own set of indicators, even though we found some that we think are equivalent in terms of their efficacy.
Yeah. Good. Let's see if we can keep this from infecting other folks. I also think it's important for folks to know that we actually have a webinar coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes with our pals over at Medigate. So for any healthcare institutions that are interested, shoot me a note or shoot Mike a note. Just send us a note on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest, or you can email Mike at mkh@ci.security, which is a pretty cool email. And Mike promised me that I could have an alias too.
Yours will be Jay.
Ooh, I can be Jay at ci.security. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing about knowing Mike, is I can get what I want. I will also say that I should go grab this so everybody can see. Mike made me get temporary tattoos.
Oh yeah, they're here. Oh, good.
The temporary tattoos are here.
Outstanding.
And so if people watching this would like a CI security temporary tattoo, I have about 1,000 of them. And when I say about, we ordered 1,000 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Have your kids put it on any yet?
I would not put no.
What?
No, not yet. No, not yet. They will. Actually, my daughter wants to put one on. She came down earlier. But since they're for business, I did not give them to my children, Mike. So anyway, do you want to leave us with a kicker today?
So kicker, let's see, something funny, something ironic. I think the fact that both the president's Twitter account and campaign page were temporarily hacked inside of a few days of each other is kind of a weird sign of the times. The humorous, and I'm not vouching for the veracity of this claim. There's some question that this researcher, and I think this person is in Northern Europe somewhere, got into the Twitter account once before with a password of "you're fired," all lower, no spaces. And then tried again recently. Apparently the first attempt and successful attempt was a couple of years ago. Tried it again and got in with MAGA 2020 bang. So, okay, that's funny. but there are reasons to doubt, whether or not that's true. Then the campaign page was defaced a couple of days ago, which turned out to, in addition to railing on the president, had links to a site selling Monero cryptocurrency in return for disclosing classified information stolen from the campaign website. The campaign website, which has no access to anything but public content. So basically complete BS, but a weird sign of the times.
Totally weird sign of the times. Almost as weird as getting temporary tattoos with our logo.
Greatest marketing idea ever.
Yeah, no, things that come from Mike, not just. All right, I'll tell you what. If you think that was, if people watching think that was a good marketing idea, put it in the chat. If you think it was a bad marketing idea, put it in the chat. Because I lost this vote last time, so maybe we'll have better. Maybe we'll have better voters today. When I lose, it's because the voters are bad.
No. If you lose, it's because I'm going to create a disruption event to put all of the results of the voting in question.
Yeah. Well, you just made that turn pretty dark.
I am a disruption event.
Don't I know it? Only with your drums. All right, everybody. Seriously, if you want to join the webinar, we're going to talk about the ransomware attacks, and we're going to talk about CI security and Medigate and how we can help protect and defend hospitals. That's in an hour. Send us a note if you want an invite. If you want a temporary tattoo, also send us a note. Just send a LinkedIn note to Mike or to me.
Awareness training tomorrow.
Oh, right. And security awareness training tomorrow at noon. That link is in the LinkedIn chat, or just send us a note. We're happy to invite you as well. Whew. All right. Well, that was a hell of a beginning of a Thursday.
Okay. Everybody buckle up.
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.